Hey guys, welcome to the second part of the Throne of Glass reading vlog. In case you missed it, I do have part 1 up on my channel where I read The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, and Heir of Fire. So in this video, we'll be finishing off the rest of the series with Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and Kingdom of Ash. It will be structured just like part 1, where it will be spoiler-free with a spoiler section as I finish each of the books. So you will have the timestamps in case you want to skip that, but kind of best of both worlds if you haven't read the series and you're curious what that experience is like, or if you have read the series and you want all of the spoiler thoughts with each of those books. So to not be too repetitive from the first video, I talked way more in depth about the reading order that I'm doing and why I'm doing it, how I'm feeling about it, all the things, which, spoiler, I'm loving it. But to summarize it here, because technically we are not starting this video with Queen of Shadows, Riley and I, who I'm buddy reading this series with, we started with The Assassin's Blade. And while we were reading it, one of my friends sent me a reading, like a reading list, a reading order for the series, where you read certain novellas from The Assassin's Blade at certain points in the series. And so when we finished The Assassin's Blade, we were like, how about we now use that reading order? So we are rereading certain novellas at certain points throughout the series. So in this video, we have 3 novellas that we still need to read, which as I reread the novellas, I'm tabbing. So we are starting off with, I believe it's The Assassin in the Desert or something like that. Let me check. I think it's like that. It's The Assassin in the Desert and then The Assassin in the Underworld. So let's start this video by jumping back into The Assassin's Blade. It's been a few days and I just finished my reread of the 4th novella, The Assassin and the Underworld. Next up will be my reread of the 3rd novella, and then we pick up Queen of Shadows. So Riley came over last night and we were buddy reading this, and before she left, I just finished the novella and I was like, this had not come at a more perfect time because I already know what happens, right? And so Heir of Fire was such a long book for Riley and I to get through. It was nothing to do with the book, but just the structure of it, the multiple POVs, the multiple plot lines, life events that just, for us, it was just a long time reading it that I was a little, hesitant getting back into Queen of Shadows just because, again, the world, I was like, okay, what is this gonna be? What am I getting into? And so having these novellas to reread right now and just kind of get me excited and all the nerves just go away for the world now, I just felt like this was so perfect to reread. And I tabbed, I don't know if you can see it, they're now a lot more hidden. I need to redo these tabs to kind of I don't know, make them a little shorter on the outside, but I've done my tabbing. I'm just excited. It was just such a great reread. And now today I am meeting up with Riley again for other stuff, and we are going to continue reading this at a coffee shop or something, and I hope to finish novella number 3 today so that this week we can head into Queen of Shadows. It has been a couple days and I finished my reread of the 3rd novella, The Assassin and the Desert. Now, I was so confused having to reread both 3 and 4, but do it backwards. I was like, wait, but order of events, why not reread them 3, 4? Why 4, 3? I loved it. I love the order of this reread because I got just so excited to be back in this world with the 4th novella, but then reading the 3rd one, I was like, wow, yeah, no, that's crazy. That was just a crazy little mission that she went on, and I really liked rereading it. I felt like I retained a lot more. That's kind of what I've said with each of these novella rereads. I've just retained so much more. And so we only have 1 left, but you can see I tabbed also for 3 and 4. Oh, I just love doing this. So it is currently a Tuesday and Riley and I are gonna start Queen of Shadows on Friday. So I'm thinking today or tomorrow maybe we should do it on Thursday when we were both at book club. I was thinking of doing the thing where I schedule out kind of how much pages we're reading each day and what that will look like. And I also need to make my little bookmark for tabs for it. So I'm not sure. I may do that today, just the excitement of it, or I may do it tomorrow. I don't know. But I'm so excited to jump into Queen of Shadows. So I will see you guys on Friday when we start reading. I'm here to give my first reading update on Queen of Shadows. I am 200 pages in. I'm on chapter 25. I feel like saying the words like I'm giving my first reading update 200 pages in sounds really bad, but looking at it, you see I'm probably what, like 25% of the way through this book right now. So I feel like it's a good time to give you guys an update. Riley is coming over tonight and we're gonna do some more reading. I feel like I have a lot of thoughts and also not a lot of thoughts. It's kind of confusing, which is how I feel. I do like overall like what's going on. I had a hard start to this book. If you guys have read it, chapter 27, I feel like how I've spoken about the books in like the spoiler sections in the past video, like you guys know how I feel about certain characters. And chapter 7 here gave me a heart attack, gave me a lot of emotions to work through, and I'm still working through them. So that's kind of like how I feel. But chapter 7 was like that starting point that I was like, Riley, I don't want to read this anymore. I don't want to go through this anymore. But then we have so many other characters going on, and like all of like the plot lines kind of now I feel like more merging together in a way. We were following a lot of different people. I say a lot, probably like 4 or 5 POVs in Heir of Fire, and then in that we're kind of, I don't know, following 4 or 5 plot lines then, but in this book we start to see them kind of cross and like how they're going to all interconnect. And so I've liked seeing that. The first 200 pages in a classic like Sarah J Maas way, like so much has happened, but also I know like it's only gonna get worse, it's only gonna get crazier. And so I'm like really liking this. I mean, outside of the part that I don't like, outside of that character doing whatever the heck they're doing, I really, really like everything else. I feel like it, okay, I think I talked about this in the last video, but there isn't a character that I don't like in this story. And that doesn't mean that like all the characters are good, but I think Sarah J Maas does such a great job creating characters in like such an intellectual way. Like I really enjoy like the King of Ardalan. Ardalan? Why does that sound so weird? Anyways, I really enjoy the king here, but it doesn't mean like the king's a good character. You know what I mean? Not like, it's not like a nice guy, but like I like that he is very smart, plans a lot of things out. Like, I don't know, I just really enjoy how her like darker evil characters are also shown in this, on top of obviously the ones that are like positive character. You know what I mean? You guys get it. So like I really enjoy like the way my brain is having to process all of the characters here and how that is going to progress. Like I'm quite excited to see like how that continues. So kind of my initial thoughts. First 200 pages. I mean, it's really hard obviously to talk about this book in a non like spoiler way at this point, so I'm doing the best that I can. Hopefully like if it like hopefully it makes sense if you've read it, and if you haven't, hopefully it kind of gives you an idea without spoiling anything specifically, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. I'm going to continue reading, and I will give you guys my next update whenever I feel like that makes sense. I'm here with our next reading update. If you guys watched my cabin video, my cabin getaway with Ayana, you saw that's where I did a good chunk of reading on this for a few days of reading, and that got me past the 50% mark. I'm sure it's like 55, I've read this much, but I'm now on chapter 44, page 360. Wow. Like obviously non-spoiler thoughts here, so trying to give like an update that can make sense, that makes it worth your time, but non-spoiler. I think the last time we chatted was around the like 25% mark. We are just following all of these characters that are just trying to navigate like their own life on top of like what their tasks are, what their journey is, and it is just really entertaining. Like, it is just so fascinating watching them and like getting kind of inside their head and what they're thinking, and watching, I guess, like our characters like interact, as some get to interact more with others. And the way though that chapter 43 ended, it was like the perfect stopping point, because I was like, oh boy, okay, yeah. So we're going to start a whole journey after that. Like, that is gonna be a whole experience. So I just remember like reading this, and Ayana was on the couch next to me, and it ended, and I was just like, no, you're kidding. Dang it. Like, my red flag should have been that things were going pretty well, or that I felt good. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, yeah, there's some stuff that was like, dang it, like that's rough, or I don't like what this character's doing. But overall, I was content. And I think that should have been my red flag. As a Sarah J. Maas reader, as a Sarah J. Maas book, something was bound to happen. So that's kind of where we're at. Wow. I will probably do another update at like that 75% mark, or like 80, 85. Like, the point is, like, where I have like something where I only have like a couple days left of reading or something to then finish it, because it is hard. Like, only so much of this is like worth your time. So I will check in with you guys again whenever we hit another good stopping point. Oh my gosh, I took off my wide angle lens and I feel like it looks so different right now, but I want to give my final reading update before I finish the book, most likely. I have been reading the last couple of days. I was actually taking a mini little trip to Vegas with my uncle. We went and watched a KU men's basketball game. It was so fun. So I wasn't really thinking about like filming all like the montage clips of reading. So I am officially on chapter 61, page 486. I'm at the 75% mark. So wow. Also, I'm out of breath. I'm currently sick, and like, I wanted to film this update clip in case I do reading today and tomorrow to finish this. But wow, I'm like, whew, breathing hard, and I feel it. I just want to like cough right now so bad. Okay, 75%. I don't remember the percentage of the last time that I talked with you guys, but just any time that I feel safe and I feel secure, something happens, and that's on me. That's on me. Every single time I am like, well, no, it'll be different. Like, fool me 6 times, I guess. But this has been so bingeable for me. Anytime I pick it up to read it, like, I am in it, and I am just like ready to continue, ready to learn more, ready to see more from all of our characters. It has been so immensely fun to read this. So that's really all I can say without like talking about any spoiler thoughts, but it has not slowed up for me. I've really enjoyed this book, and I'm just kind of excited to see like how this one wraps up. I feel like it's gonna be similar to the rest so far, where you have this like semi-concluding feeling at the end of the book, but you're anticipating like what's next. So it's not like a cliffhanger per se. It's like, okay, this concludes like this chapter of the story. Now we see where we're gonna go. You know what I mean? So I'm excited to see how this one wraps up. But wow, like wow so far. It's just so good. And I feel like I'm like tabbing a good amount, not overboard. I feel like there's a lot happening, but a lot of it is just like absorbing information and not a ton of like, this is tab worthy. You know what I mean? But wow. Okay, that's kind of all I want to say right now, and I will talk with you guys when I finish the book. You guys, I have not talked with you in a hot minute. I finished Queen of Shadows a while ago, a while ago, a couple weeks, and I originally was like, well, for sure I want to take a couple days to like process everything that happened, like not come on even the next day and be like, okay, here are my final thoughts, right? Like that wasn't going to end well. But then a series of events of me traveling, me getting sick, me traveling again, now we're here. So I have not continued on with the series. Riley was also having just like normal life stuff that she finished, I think, maybe 5-7 days after me. Okay, focus, thank you. And so I was also like waiting on her before we figured out kind of what we were gonna be doing next. But now I'm here because I need to do my quick and easy reread of The Assassin and the Healer, the final novella to do the reread of. And so I want to dive into this tonight. Therefore, I need to get out my thoughts on Queen of Shadows because, wow, I have thoughts. I had to kind of remind myself everything that happened, and I actually have like notes on my phone that I should pull up for the spoiler discussion. But for a non-spoiler thought on the entirety of Queen of Shadows, wow, I think that this is my favorite book so far. I really liked the simplicity compared to Heir of Fire. So I feel like in Heir of Fire, you know, we were following all these POVs and they're all like these different plot lines. I think there's like 3 or 4 plot lines going on. And here we got to see them merge together. So we got to see like the complexity get a little bit simpler when it comes to this massive world, massive book, and just the expansion that is the world of Sarah J. Maas. And so it was a lot easier to follow, a lot easier to just like pick up and read. And that is something that I definitely had less of in Heir of Fire, which made me nervous to like, I don't know, like continue on with another book that could potentially be like that. So I was really glad to see how this one like evolved from Heir of Fire to Queen of Shadows. I don't know how to fully, my hair is a tangled mess. I don't know how to fully talk about it if I'm honest, because there was so much that like happened. We'll talk more. I'll give obviously specifics in the spoiler discussion, but I guess to simplify it as much as I can for a non-spoiler viewpoint, I really enjoyed how Sarah J. Maas wrapped up one of the plot lines that was going on with 2 of our characters, and I really liked how we saw like one of our characters, the writing that we had for them in this was done so well and so beautiful. I loved it. Like, I loved it. And so I really liked how plot lines were developed. I really like how this book was written, and I'm excited for the next one. I know that we have Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn and then Kingdom of Ash. And I know it is only emotionally going to go downhill from this point. But as far as like the fantasy plot of this, wow. Just absolutely wow. I am so incredibly impressed with how expansive it is, but relatively simple to understand. Like while a lot can happen and sometimes you're like, wait, okay, I need to like take a step and just like think about it all. Like once I just take a breath, like it all makes sense and I follow it. I think when there's just like a lot going on, it can at times make me feel like, wait, I'm kind of lost. Wait, what was that about? But if I just like pause, take a break, think, maybe talk to Riley about it if she's finished that section, then like I'm good to go. So I really enjoyed this one and I'm very excited to continue on with the series. So we are going to officially move on into the spoiler section. I'll ramble for a couple seconds so that you can either skip over this or pause it, exit, whatever you gotta do. But babes, I've got thoughts. I've got thoughts. So I have my phone here with the bullets of all the things. So I wish I could just tell you that I have a cohesive thought on how this book was. No, that's just like not how I work. So officially the spoiler section, leave if you don't want to hear anything. Oh my god. So when I talked about how I love the writing of one of our characters and how that was portrayed through this and I found it so beautiful, that was Dorian. I loved how Sarah J. Maas wrote Dorian's plot in this book. I mean, obviously torturous, right? Like he is trapped in this demon, or the demon is trapped. it's confusing, right? The demon's in his body, but he's trapped by the demon. Nonetheless, I just thought the way that Sarah J. Maas wrote, the way his brain was processing, the way his brain was like forgetting but still fighting, I loved it. It was just so beautifully written. The other thing, to kind of sum up this whole progression of Celaena and Chaol, so I felt like I rooted so hard for Celaena and Chaol. Like, I loved them from the get-go. And so when we saw at the end of Crown of Midnight, when that was just a disaster, and we saw the ending of her leaving and being like, just so you know, like, it wouldn't have mattered. I still would have, like, chosen you. Like, my heart, like, exploded, right? Like, broken, but also, like, oh my God. And then we see this progression of Air of Fire where we have to learn to cope that they're not going to be together. And as someone that really wanted them to be together, I was seeing her all of a sudden introduced to this new man. And I was like, I don't like Rowan. He was mean. I didn't like it. Like, I did not support this. I definitely feared that we were going to see Celaena really accepting and embracing her Aelin side. And I was going to have to deal with that very quickly. And I was going to be like, babe, what about Chaol? Like, what about Chaol? I feel like Sarah J. Maas handled that perfectly. I felt like I was coping and dealing with the heartbreak that Celaena was through the books. I love that they being Sarah J. Maas, that she did not just like rush Celaena into this new world. They're like, okay, you're embracing Aelin now. Oh, well, now that you're doing that, like, you're training with Rowan and like he's your new guy. Like, no. Like, we watched Celaena heal from being Celaena into Aelin. We saw that like growth, but then we saw her heal from the Chaol journey, and the way those parts were written was also very beautiful. Like, it hurt. It hurt so bad, but it was so beautiful. And I just really felt like that was done really well as someone that like really loved Chaol. Did she make it a little easier by making Chaol a bit of a jerk? Yes. In this book, oh, I was hate reading in the beginning. I was hate reading. I was like, you know what? I don't want to read this anymore. I don't want to. Also, guys, I'm so sorry. The sun is going down. It's not going to want to focus very much, but I just liked how she handled that whole thing. And I could go on and on, honestly, because I don't think I've ever experienced something like that. To where I guess, to like wrap up that romance side of it, I grew to like accept Aelin and Rowan. I grew to appreciate that and like the trust that they were building and like the dependence that she was feeling for him. But like, I can still take care of myself, but like, I want him. I don't need you. I want you. And that was really well done as well. Chaol and, what was it, Nezran? I mean, cool. Like, we're gonna see that romance happen. Hopefully not too much. I honestly don't like it. I don't dislike Nezran. I think I can accept the way that Rowan has came into Aelin's life. But Chaol, like, moving on with Nezran? Okay, call me a hypocrite. I don't care. I don't like it. But I'll, like, accept it. I guess it's fine. Whatever. I really, talking about just, like, so much closure happening, I guess, in here. And, like, just the way all these small plot lines were, like, carried out and, like, some of this rounded out. Aelin's closure to Arobyn's, like, pretty much torture for how long? Like, a decade? Like, the way Arobyn, iconic. The fact that Aelin just needed that final moment of like, no, he has not changed. No, he does not care about me. And then she gives it to Lysandra to like end it because Lysandra also deserved. Chef's kiss. Like, just the way Sarah, bestie Sarah, wrote that. Wild. Okay. I really liked Manon and Aelin's run-in. Like, that was iconic because we had these two powerful women who believe that they are not allowed to feel. They believe that they are not allowed to love, that they're incapable of doing such. Seriously. In and out of focus. But Aelin chose to save Manon's life, and Manon returned that life debt by communicating to Aelin that Dorian was still inside. Like, do not kill him, he is still there. She went out of her way to pay that life debt. She went out of her way because she cares. Now, we already saw Manon care in other ways within her Blackbeak clan. I was gonna say it's not really within, it was like a different clan, but that's the whole point. We already saw that, right? But this was just like a moment of these two people that believe they're incapable of caring and loving, and they don't deserve that. And like, we just watched that play out, and I just really like that small but impactful moment. And then, I mean, okay, yeah, I wrote about like just the entire Blackbeak Manon journey. Wild. The Vogue, all that. I mean, Manon came to her senses, thank God. But we had to work there. We had to work to get there. Wild ride. I've always loved the Manon chapters, like since the beginning. So iconic. Her and Dorian. I love that. I love that. Like, we see at the end of the book that she came to Dorian. He waved. Well, yeah. No, I'm excited to see those two. No, they're perfect. Okay, and then I just wrote here that I love Lysandra, and that's just true. Everything that is Lysandra, I love. Her personality, all the things. A lead. Babes, stay strong, queen. We're gonna see you. We're gonna see you in Terrasen, and it's gonna be okay. I hope. I mean, don't come. I could be jinxing you, but like, that was an interesting storyline, and I'm very interested to see how that carries out, because it was Elid's mother that ultimately sacrificed herself to keep Aelin alive, because Elid's mother believed in Aelin. Is like, no, Aelin is a sign of hope, and like, she needs to survive this so that she can save us. And so for Elid to not like have hatred towards Aelin, but for her to just be like, no, I believe in my queen. Wow. I really liked Rowan and Adian's like respect and growth as well. So like the growth of their relationship together, I wouldn't say bromance, they're not really there yet, but their trust, camaraderie, and respect that they have for each other like grew so much obviously in this book. And I just really like how that played out. I really like that relationship, and like how like those two had to work together and like overcome those like initial kind of off-putting feelings. I just really liked how that was written. Kaltain. Free at last, that beautiful bird. Oh my gosh. I mean, give the girl a break. I loved that ending. I mean, the fact that she overcame that demon and just had to wait. She had to bide her time to figure out what is the right move for me. And the fact that she knew, like, I'm not going to overcome this. Like, I've done too much. Like, I cannot live with what I've done. But, like, I can save you all and die happy. That was just amazing. All hail King Dorian. Am I right, ladies? That scene, that battle scene, that was, I was speechless. I was just like, keep going, keep going. Like, I was just flipping through the pages. Like, I can't stop reading this. Wow. Wow. I mean, like, her, the king, like, the king. Yeah, I'm gonna need to, like, reread that to get my best grasp on the situation. Because what? What the hell? Okay. So we have, at the end of this book, right? So, King Dorian. Chaol is headed off to the South Continent, right? To hopefully fix the fact that he's now paralyzed. Bessie Chaol. But he's gonna have Nezrin with him. He's gonna, you know, find love and trust again and all the things, and hopefully be able to walk. And then we have Aelin headed back to Terrasen with Rowan and Adian. Yeah, I mean, Bessie's got to prep for war, right? Because we have the Duke and Vernon that are so like, no, we're here to fight. We came to fight. We're going to fight. And I'm like, okay, well, I just feel like we don't have to, but okay. So I'm very interested in like how like the Blackbeaks, just like how that whole thing is going to like continue on. right now. Like, what's that next step? The Duke, just a freaking jerk. Vernon, he's just a weak man that wants to feel protected and in power. It's ridiculous. So he's gonna be by the Duke's side, and okay, fine. I'm curious to see like what Aylin's immediate steps are going back to Terrasen and kind of like reclaiming her country and like now gonna be a queen and lead that. So yeah, okay. We're really struggling with as the sun. I chose to film this at sunset as the sun just keeps going down. That's on me. But nonetheless, I have finished Queen of Shadows. I am very excited to continue on with the series. Like I said, so I'll just see you guys whenever I'm starting Empire of Storm because there's no point. I mean, if I have anything worthy of saying in this reread, I'll let you know. But it's just the final one. Just kind of get a glimpse back into like the mission that was with the healer and Selena. But elephant in the room, we are not doing the tandem read. We have decided against it. Pros and cons to both. I think just right now, Riley and I have decided that we are going to read Empire of Storm and then Tower of Dawn. So hopefully we will start that relatively soon. We are definitely booked and busy with all the books that we want to read before certain releases come out, just end of the year and like holidays, all of that. But I'm excited to do this reread to get back in the world after being away from it for a couple weeks. And then I'm excited to finish out this series with the final 3 books. You guys, it has been too long. We're not going to dwell on it. I had to do some rereads in order to prep for Onyx Storm. Riley and I were both rereading Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, and then we read Onyx Storm, and now we are finally ready to dive back into this world. I am obviously scared because I know the last 3 books are just going to be a lot. But I'm also just very excited. Like, I've missed these characters. Riley was here last night when we were like picking out our tabs and doing a little recap of Queen of Shadows to kind of remember everything that happened, leaving us here. And like, yeah, but like that recap got us like back in it where we're like just very excited to pick up the book now. We have 60 pages to read tonight. Let's get into it. You guys, so bad do I wish that this was a just like spoiler filled video so I could just like say all the thoughts in my head, but in the first 60 pages of this is like just a non-spoiler thing. Like, we're introduced to a new character and that new character sucks. I hate him right now. I am hoping the tides will turn, but like right now, you know, that's how I'm feeling. Like, it's a lot of hatred going on in here. I'm like, you're just being mean and rude and I don't like you. But Miss Sarah has done that to me time and time again in this series. And I've had my feelings change over time. So she knows what she's doing. I gotta trust the process. But wow. First 60 pages done. I'm on chapter 5, so we'll be continuing on tomorrow, but we're starting this. We are sure as hell starting this. Okay, so it's on me for not even thinking about filming reading for today, but that's okay. We have like 12 days total of reading. I feel like I shouldn't vlog every single time I pick up the book, but just kind of update you guys as I feel necessary. So we are now finished with day 2's reading. I'm on chapter 12. Sarah, like, she does not waste any time. I feel like she just hits the ground running. Like, thinking about the first 60 pages and what like we're immediately seeing with a few of our characters, thinking about the next 60 pages that we continue with characters you've already seen and kind of see what they're up to immediately. The new characters introduced were already thrown into like these big scenes, heavy scenes, and I'm like, okay, no, so we're not easing our way into this. Okay, cool. No, that's fine. And I say that as if I haven't read the first 120 pages. Like when I think about reading 120 pages, why does it feel like, oh, we're not easing our way into this? But at the same time, like these books are so big that I'm like, no, like that's like a dent, you know? Like, so to think, just like looking at this and thinking about everything that has happened in this small like chunk, crazy. And it's hard because Riley and I have some questions that like we can't just easily Google, but like we don't want to ask our friends in case they like don't understand fully to where they accidentally reveal too much, or they're like, oh, like just wait, and you're like, oh, so this is actually something. Like this isn't just like a silly question I have, this is like something, you know, like. So we're just gonna continue on. But she just left. We just read day 2's stuff together. Like, what a time to be alive. Wow. I'll probably film a bit of me reading it tomorrow because I have book club tomorrow, but I don't want to bring this book with me to read. I'd rather just like be reading something else. So I'm going to go ahead and probably try to read the 60 pages I need to tomorrow, just like during the day. And so try to remember to record some. Okay, guys, I've officially finished day 3 and 4, day 2 and 3, day 3 and 4's reading for Empire of Storms. So I'm currently 34% of the way through the book. I'm on chapter 27. No, it's so good. It's so good. I was just telling another video, I was like, no, like we're in the trenches, but I'm also laughing. Like Aylin's hilarious and you can't tell me different, but at the same time, so many of our other characters also like, I don't know, the way Sarah writes them, they'll like have the facial expressions or these like one-liners, and I'm like laughing at like main characters, side characters. Like I love how she has that in here when we are also at war, you know? I'm just really enjoying it. Like those are all non-spoiler things, right? Like we know certain characters exist at this point, so they're all just funny. No context. They're funny. But also we're going through it. Yeah. So I have enjoyed like the slow and steady part of this series and the way Riley and I have like chosen to read it. Like I'm really glad that we aren't just like binging them and being like, well, I'm just gonna read like this in 2 days. And I'm like, well, what did I actually remember from it? But I feel like by doing the tabbing, by roughly doing 60 pages a day, like I feel like I'm really grasping everything I'm reading. Now, granted, today I did have to read 120 basically pages, but I was off work, so I feel like I just had the time. And it was so nice to just like sit outside and read earlier, and I just like finished up my reading here. But wow, we're making great progress. We're making great progress. Okay, I'm gonna put this down, and then we'll pick it back up for day whatever's reading tomorrow. And I'm gonna go ahead and continue reading some other books for other videos, but that's my little update for now. I wanted to check in. I think I got some clips at the coffee shop earlier when I was reading. I was just sat here locked in reading. I didn't want to bust out the camera at all. Maybe tomorrow I will. Maybe tomorrow. Okay, it has been a couple days, but I haven't read the last couple days, and I wanted to pick back up Empire of Storms. But a couple nights ago when I was reading, I had reached part 2, and I felt like at any other point that I was like stopping reading, I was like, well, what am I really gonna say, especially in a non-spoiler way, you know what I mean? But I figured I had to update you guys after finishing part 1. Wow, okay, like the tabs are tabbing. I feel like we have a good amount of just feelings and emotions happening, but we are seeing a lot of like where the like plot is gonna go as far as like post. What was the last one? Air Fire, right? So no, Queen of Shadows. So post Queen of Shadows, like we saw a lot of direction from like where our characters were gonna go. Some of them still like in the same area or together or like gonna align in this way, and others like we're gonna follow a separate path. And we're seeing a lot more of like certain characters in this one following that line and where that's going, and we're getting introduced in a way to some of the characters that we've seen in the Assassin's Blade, and so that has been really fun to see. Like, some of those novellas were just like such a fun experience, and then I remember reading those for the first time thinking like, no, but how am I going to see you again? Like, where are you going to come back up? And they're coming back up slowly but surely, and it's been really cool because I don't know if we're gonna like see all of those characters again from like the 4 or 5 different missions that we saw in Assassin's Blade, but it's been cool seeing how some of this has just been, okay, some of Assassin's Blade in those like stories, they've been brought up as like these experiences that she's had that have helped shape her, and then some of them have been more like character focused, like more of those name drops and like this situation and this person, and like we need to go see them again, or they just pop up and we see them again. So it's been a nice mix of both at this point. But yeah, we are entering part 2. The way that part 1 just ended though, no, like I'm excited. It's like one of those like giddy moments, you know, not one of the, oh Jesus, are we all still alive? Can we get a pulse check? You know, there's a difference in how Sarah J. Maas wants to pace her books. And right now we're at like there's a little giddy point that I was like, oh, okay. So I'm excited to continue this. I'm gonna read my 60 or so pages for today's reading, and I will probably check in with you guys again around like the 75% mark, because if I can't really discuss spoilers, it just really feels repetitive. So unless I feel like something before the 75% mark makes me feel like I need to share thoughts and opinions of me either really loving something or really hating something, we'll see. Right now, I'm loving every character, every like plot point with our individual characters and like their journeys, along with how they're connected together. So I'm like ready to have my heart destroyed. This is such a great time. We are so close to finishing it. Is it focusing on the book? I feel like it's not. It's still trying to focus on me. There we go. Nope. Yes. Look at that. I don't know if that did anything. Okay, I'm on chapter 66, and so tonight, I am going to do a little bit of reading. Honestly, I'm not trying to finish the book tonight, but I did want to at least talk with you before I finish the last 13%, because I will be finishing it tomorrow, no matter what, so I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay, so the last update was around 50%. Since then, I mean, obviously non-spoiler, I mean, I've had like such a great time with this book. I feel like our 60-page increments of reading has been really great, because like you get these pockets of really like hectic, busy times, and then you get these pockets where honestly it's a pretty chill time. I don't know what day it was that like I had read these 60 pages that were all just like pleasant. It was all pleasant and like romantic, with all our different like romance plots going on with our characters, and so you kind of got like updates on each of those stories in those 60 pages. It was so perfect. I was like, no, like Riley, you need to read these ones, because like no one's at risk of dying in the next 60 pages. Like you're gonna have a great time. Like it was just so amazing. So I really liked that, and then I knew we were heading back into war, back into battles, back into all of that. So it was a great 60 pages to then propel me forward for what will be the remaining part of the book. So we just, I feel like, got through a big event that happened where, not what happened, like, but like where all of our characters like experience different things or battling different emotions and like coming together, they're talking, they're mad at each other, they're not talking, like it's just like, guys, chaos. But where we're at right now, like what like just happened, Chapter 65, jaw on the floor. Jaw on the floor. I'm sitting at book club. I was like, okay, I am supposed to stop at 65 was like that day's reading, but there's no way. Like, there was no way I could have just like stopped. Like, what do you mean? No. So I had to read one more chapter before we all left, and I feel like I need to reread it, honestly. Like, I wouldn't mind rereading that because it was a lot of things being explained, a lot of reveals, and I just want to make sure, like, I understand what I can from it, and if I have questions, that's fine, but, like, I want to make sure, like, I really grasped everything that was being said. So I may reread chapter 65. I remember reading, like, the first page and a half and then being like, okay, whoa, let's start this over. So I feel like I just need to reread it because I feel like there's a lot of important things, and I need to, yeah, wow. So I'm gonna do that. Honestly, I kind of just want to chill. I'm sickly. I don't want to really film tonight as far as like the cute B-roll and everything, but I do think I want to film me kind of like, you know, finishing the book tomorrow. So I will see you guys tomorrow when we finish Empire of Storms. Crazy. Okay, listen. Can you hear it in my voice? I got sick. I did. So this weekend, I didn't film anything. I had to stop the weekly vlog. Like, I couldn't bring myself to pull out a camera. I mean, I had it dark in my home for 2 days straight. But with that, I finished it. I really wanted to film it for you guys, I promise, but that was just not an option. But look at her. Look at her. It's so good. It's, wow. Wow. Also, the flop on this is insane to where I am so pissed. What is this? What is that? Not floppy, that's for sure, but Empire of Storms, non-spoiler thoughts and opinions. Our last update, I think, was when I was at the 87% mark, and I was like, I'm gonna film for you guys. Okay, moving past that. The last 13-15% of the book was so much. It was so much. I think that it had so much information that was being revealed to us, things explained to us, that there was things that, like, I don't know, were emotional and did like in different emotion ranges, but I wasn't really feeling all of those emotions because I was so focused on all the information being given to us and like processing that and like thinking about how all of this was like shown to us previously. So I didn't really feel a lot of things finishing this book, but like I think once I settle a bit and like, I don't know, process and allow myself to think and feel, I will feel those feelings. But like, this was so, okay, I don't know, like, it was so good. It was so good. I don't know if I can give this 5 stars on the first read because I don't have that 5-star feeling. I had that 5-star feeling with Queen of Shadows. Like, I just knew it. My gut knew it the moment I finished the book, 5 stars. This, it would be like a 4.75 kind of thing, a 4.5, like probably 4.75, because there's just these small moments throughout the book that like I was just like, okay, like I'm vibing, but it's like not a lot. But I think when you finish a series and you do a reread on something like this book becomes so much more, and I really loved all the things that happened in it. And I really liked the like progression of all of our characters in their own little stories, even though like the band's, and not all the band, but we have some of our characters together. I would say the band's back together, but like not really, but like we have a lot of our characters operating in the same space, and I always love it when we get to see that. But at the same time, they're having their own little, you know, like self-growth kind of journeys and self-discovery journeys, and you have these little romance stories going on. Like, that was so fun to follow, and I do think that we got a good amount of POVs throughout the main part. I think it was the final 15% that all the POVs were like came crashing together, that I was just like very overwhelmed with processing the like final part of the book. But overall, I really like the pacing of all the other POVs like throughout the first 75%. So I'm excited to dive into Tower of Dawn, because I think if I did the tandem read, one, we'd still be going, we'd still be reading, but two, like, there'd be no time to process. You just jump into the final book. So this, you are following so many POVs, while in Tower of Dawn, same timeline, I believe you're not following the same amount of POVs. So I think it'll be kind of a break. I think there'll be like less constant anxiety going on here, that it'll be kind of like, okay, we're still in the story, we're getting to know what happened while everyone else was doing this, like these are what a few of our characters are doing over here, and then we kind of have this moment to process everything before heading into the final book. So at this point, I feel good that we did not do the tandem read. I'll let you know how I feel, obviously, once I finish this, and then I think about how it could have been different if we did the tandem. We separately in our own spaces, but we were messaging each other. Riley and I made our tabs for this book. Look how perfect. Oh, I'm so excited. Like, I am so excited. So we're gonna be diving into this. Like, I was like, I don't know. We're gonna be diving into this probably tomorrow as our first day of reading. We'll see. But I really loved all the tabs that got to tab here. And I just love the fluffiness of this. So I'm going to give you guys a few seconds to go ahead and click out or skip or do whatever before I talk about all of the spoilers of this book and my thoughts and my opinions and all the things. I don't want to risk that. This is your final warning. Your girl hates it when someone's like, okay, I'm going to talk about spoilers, skip to this, and then immediately jump into spoilers. You gave them no time. I'm trying to find my remote. I'm trying to find my phone. Where's the button to stop? Like, so this is ample time. Let's dive into my spoiler thoughts. Wow. Was no one going to tell me? Was no one going to tell me the amount of things that happen in this book? Like, wow. I loved the fact that we had so many of our characters together. I really liked following, like, this whole Aelin, Rowan, Dorian, Manon, Adian, did I already say him? What, Lysandra? We don't really get Lysandra POVs much, but, like, them, plus we had this Lorcan and lead situation going on for like the first 60%, like, but they were all in the same book, but like, no, you guys, I was eating it up. I was eating it up because I really liked like our main gang, our band, but then like the bits of a lead and Lorcan that I got, I was so excited every time we got back to them. I said it. They're like my favorites for a majority of this book. I felt like I was just so excited to get back to them because I think it was just like this buildup of what the relationship was. Sorry, that's like the first thing that came to my mind. There's a lot that we could talk about with this book, so like I'll try my best. But we have Aelin, Rowan. What a mess those two are. What a loving, adorable, chaotic, messy mess. You know what I mean? I really loved by the end of this book just seeing how freaking smart Aelin is. And how much she plans, how much she cares, and how much fear she has that she's going to fail her friends, her family, her people. Like, she put all these plans in motion, and that's revealed to us right at the end when we have the entire band together. That was insane. I was just giddy the entire time, thinking about all the times that we were like, being Riley and I, read Assassin's Blade, rereading those novellas, getting so much more of those stories to where when those characters came back, I was feeling all my feelings. It was really like fun and exciting. It was like a lot of just exciting feelings that I could feel in the moment. Anything that was like scary happening or sad or anything, I couldn't process any of that. I wasn't feeling any of those emotions because there was so much being revealed to us. So I know that in the non-spoiler, I was just like, I wasn't feeling feelings. When everyone was like that, I was just feeling happiness. Like, I was just like, Oh my god, this is insane. Let's jump back to Adian and Lysandra. Okay, Adian, I've never really had much like feelings one way or another about him. Like I really, like for majority, I was just like, oh, like cool character, growth, arc, whatever, until the end of the book. Until the end of the book. What the hell, Adian? Like the way he was so incredibly mean to Lysandra for no real reason. I know that he's upset. I get that he's upset. To take it out on her like that? He's just mad because he was left out. He was mad because he didn't have the information. Absolutely ridiculous. And to just like treat her like that, oh, I was pissed. I was pissed. Yeah, I don't like him. I don't like him right now. Hoping he gets over himself in the final book. But like, that was ridiculous. That was absolutely ridiculous. Lysandra, she's a queen. She is a queen who knows how to play. I love her character so much. I love her growth, her like her confidence that we see like just skyrocket. And it's just so incredible to see how powerful she is, how much she is loyal to her queen, and what she's willing to do for everyone. Like, she is just such a great woman. She's such a great woman. Wow. Okay. I'm like trying to think of all the characters and like what jumps out. Dorian and Manon. Dorian. He is such a king. Can we just talk about the royalty that he embodies? Like, but he is so, like, we see him grow so much in this book because we see him really embrace so much of himself, that like the good, the bad, the ugly, the caring parts of him. Like, we just see his intelligence and his confidence in every part of himself really blossom. And I really enjoyed just seeing that and like being so proud of him, because he just knows with his royal training how to carry himself. He knows how to handle a lot of these situations where he's maybe like stressed, he's maybe whatever, but like he knows on the outside just like how to be poised and like just continue. And I just really love that character like growth in this book. Him and Manon. No, you're kidding. No, you're kidding. I ate it up. I don't know what, I mean, if you watch the Throne of Glass, no, wow, this is I'm filming too many videos right now. If you watched, I think it was when I was like, this is the best 60 pages ever, like everyone was just at peace and we were just like happy and it was just all the romance stuff. It was like no one's at risk of dying. It was great. It was in that part where like we ended on him not having sex with Manon. And it was everything I needed and more. I was like, oh, jaw on the floor. Jaw on the floor. That was so good. It was, I love them. I love them. I think they're perfect. Manon is everything we need to be and more. She is loyal. She is a fighter. She couldn't care less. She's gonna do what is right for the people that take care of her. She's gonna do right by her people. I am so excited to see her journey of the Kraken side of things in the final book, because what a turn of events. What a turn of events. Also, Abraxos, love him so much. He can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. The fact that he went and he found the 13 to bring him back. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? He's perfect as well. So like, Manon, Abraxos, and Dorian, happy family. You know what I mean? So good. So good. Okay, who else is in this? Shifting back to Lorcan and Elite. Shifting back to that. I loved them. And then now I'm like in shambles a little bit. Because with Adian, I was like, Adian, how dare you? You're being so mad for no good reason. Elite? Validly pissed. Validly pissed. I get it. Lorcan's trying to save his woman, that he doesn't understand why he has feelings. I get it. Like, listen, dude. Been there, done that. You know what I mean? But, like, yeah, you kind of put the whole team in jeopardy. You kind of put the whole mission in jeopardy. But Aelin knew. Aelin had that feeling. She knew and put her plans in motion. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Elite validly upset. Curious to see how that's gonna go. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I'm trying to like think of our characters. As far as like main plot points, I mean, there's just so much, and I'm not sure if I fully understand everything. I want to take some time to kind of maybe Google some stuff and figure out some different things that were explained. But chapter 65 was the one that we go, her being Aelin and Manon go into the mirror, and they have everything explained to them. That was wild. That was a chapter I had to reread because I was just like, there's so much here. Elena, babes, you did that. You did that, and that is why we're here today with our story. And I get that, but like, what a journey. Seeing Nehemia again? That hurt. That hurt. Yeah, no, Sarah made a choice with that one. Sarah made a choice. Like, what else happened? I mean, a lot of things happened. It's just like what's worth bringing up that I have like strong thoughts or opinions on, you know? I'm excited to dive into Tower of Dawn and see what the hell Kale's up to. Like, I get that we're supposed to have this romance story with him. Frankly, I don't think I'm going to care too much about it. Mark my words. I don't think I'm going to care too much about it, but I'm excited to see what's going on over there. Can I get a break of the chaos that was this and then head into Kingdom of Ash? But, like, still be in our world and all of that, but there was so much. Rowan and her being married, being mates, we kind of knew that, right? Like, being mates, we kind of knew. Like, in our hearts of hearts. But, like, them being married, I'm like, oh. And now his married mate is off in an iron box. My friends were yelling at me because I had said that, like, I didn't really feel a lot of feelings at the end. Like, I wasn't feeling pain at the end. But I told them, like, it's because of all the information that was dropped. Like, I could not feel sadness because I don't know how Riley felt, I can't remember. But, like, Dana was like, girl, did we read the same book? And I was like, well, you know what happens. For me, Bestie Aylin's in an iron box, but she's not dead. I'm gonna feel feelings when she's dead. Like, that's how I would feel. And not knowing what happens after this, I'm like, well, that throws a wrench in the plans for sure. Maeve, kind of mean, right? But, like, no one's dead. I feel sorry for Rowan. But other than that, like, ouch, Elena definitely got whipped a lot. That hurts, right? But, like, the pain, like, the gut-wrenching pain of other things, I didn't feel that at the end of this. I'm curious on a reread, knowing everything that will happen. On a reread, would it hit so much more? Would it hurt so much more? I also just understand so much more. So, I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like it does, but it's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of my thoughts and feelings. I'm excited to see Tower of Dawn, get a break, be in the same world, and then finish up this series. But, wow. Okay. We can do this. Let's jump in to Tower of Dawn. I just realized that I have not filmed for this video since before I moved. Wow, okay, so obviously we're in a new place, which is exciting, but I'm here to give you guys my first update into Tower of Dawn. So it's been quite a while since I finished Empire of Storms, but a few days ago I was able to officially break the ice on Tower of Dawn, and I read just like a couple chapters, and then yesterday I had finished day one's reading. So I read the first 60 or so pages. Not really much to update you guys on at that point, but then today, this morning, I finished day two, so now I'm a little over 200 pages. So remember, we decided not to do the tandem read, and I am reading this knowing how Empire of Storms ends, and yet, you know, like, this is a whole different place. The tandem is meant because these two events kind of are going on, or like these two plot lines in a way, and you have a lot of characters in an Empire of Storms, while this one you only have like a few. And I have to say, okay, when I first started this, I was like, obviously, I mean, I feel like at this point I'll have to remind you guys, but I want to just say it because probably better to just overstate it. Not going to talk about spoilers on this book until I complete it, and then I talk like a spoiler section at the end, okay? Okay, so anything I say, I don't believe to be spoiler. And I'm not going to talk about anything that could then ruin like the previous books or books after. You know, like you get it. Okay, you get it. So based on the characters that we're following on this journey, it started out in chapter 1. I was like, oh no, like Riley, I'm kind of getting the ick. Like the way that they're talking about like something like big that's happened, I was like, I don't like how Sarah's writing this. Like like I'm not really feeling about it. I'm like not vibing with it. And then the second chapter happens, we get a different POV. That event is kind of talked about in such a way that I was like, oh, no, like I'm not getting the ick. Like, okay, good. Like there's hope here. Like I'm not, I don't know, I'm actually like feeling emotions about the situation rather than just being like, oh, I don't like how that's being talked about. And then I had to put it down. So I was just like the first 2 chapters. I was like, okay, like I kind of vibe. And then yesterday, as I was finishing day 1's reading, and Sarah, we trust, I am so sorry that I doubted you. Like the moment the 3rd chapter kind of happened, or maybe it's technically the 4th point, is it was not that long after chapter 2 that I was like, I see the vision. Sarah, I'm so sorry. And since then, like I've been excited to read it and I'm like actually looking forward to it. So now after being 120 pages into this, no, I'm excited to continue. Like I'm excited to get into it. I'm excited to like see the characters here and like what's going on, how the growth of the characters that we've like had so far in this, like what's that gonna be like? Oh yeah, no, I'm in it. I'm in it and I'm excited. So I will probably check in with you guys after I do a couple more like days worth of reading. It's hard to talk about this like because it's just non-spoiler and obviously like this far into the series, like what can I say? So coming in to let you know I've started it, kind of my initial vague thoughts, but we'll check back in a couple days as I continue making my way through this book. Okay, for the past like 3 nights, 4, I can't remember. For the last few nights, I've seriously just been sat on my couch when I get home from work and like in the dark with my book, just reading that day's reading. And so I am now at the 46% mark. I'm hoping the weather's getting nicer, it's getting warmer, less gloomy consistently. So I'm hoping, and the sun's peeking out right as this happens, okay. But I'm hoping that I can like share some more like reading clips with you guys, but I just feel like me reading at night on my couch isn't the best vibe. So I have been reading. I'm at the 46% mark. I'm on chapter 26. Not as many tabs in this one as like I've had in the past. I don't even know how much you can really see, but I am really enjoying this story. Like I think the last update, I was like, I'm so sorry, Sarah. Like I see the vision. I shouldn't have doubted you. Same thing. Like I'm here for this. I really enjoy like what we're getting from our main characters that we already knew, and then we are introduced to more characters here. I love seeing characters that are also brought back from like the Assassin's Blade side of things. It's just been like really enjoyable to like see them now like months, years later, but like you know how like Selena interacted with them on her like assassin missions in various ways, and so like you kind of have that background, that lore, right? And then seeing some of those characters brought back up later in the series has been just so enjoyable. And I like how then some of them are like more important than others, some have bigger roles than others, and I'm eating this up. I've just been having a great time, and I feel like these little moments with our characters, like whether or not it's like their self like journey, if you will, or their journey with other characters, Sarah just does a great job. In Sarah we trust, and I don't know why I was ever doubting her. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like non-spoiler thoughts, obviously, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm going to get back to reading. I don't know if I'm going to read some tonight. I think I want to work on some other things, but hopefully in the next few days as I'm reading, I will be able to read kind of more with you guys because we're nearing the end. First of all, only half this book left, but second of all, this and then Kingdom of Ash. The fear I'm fearing right now. Yeah, I just like don't know how this is gonna end. Like, I have 0 theories. 0. Anyways, I just wanted to give you guys an update before I continued reading and kind of let you know, I guess, that really it's only gotten better. No negative thoughts so far. I've just reached the 72% mark, so I wanted to do my final like verbal update before I finish the book. I'm really nervous for this last like 25% because my friend Dana saw where I was at in the book and she was like, things are about to happen. Information is going to be revealed to you. And I'm like what? So I'm very curious, and because I'm not doing the tandem, I'm curious if I can like think on my own about things that happen here that may affect like the ending and everything of Empire of Storms. Dana did recommend like rereading the last like few chapters of Empire of Storms after finishing this, just to kind of get that refresh and like think about how things connect before heading into the final book. So I'm gonna read today's reading, and I guess the next like 60-ish pages are gonna be a lot. So I'm curious, I'm excited, I'm nervous. Let's do it. I have finished Tower of Dawn and I just feel so accomplished. Honestly, like we have one book left. That is crazy. Like this experience of reading this series that is so widely talked about and loved, and I haven't had anything spoiled for me yet. Like that is just crazy, and I just have really enjoyed this experience. I'm gonna try my best to kind of give like some sort of review in a non-spoiler way, but obviously it's very hard to do that at this point in the series. I am giving this book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. As you guys know, we did not do the tandem read, and I think for my first time reading this, I really like that. So in Empire of Storms, listen, we're trying our best. In Empire of Storms, we are following, I feel like 6 or so people, and you're getting all of these POVs. Now, while you do get like some POVs more than others, you are still following like 6 or so like main characters, and there's so much going on with all of them throughout the entire book that it's just like nonstop, and it is a lot to absorb. I think if I was doing the tandem with also getting like the POVs from here, it would have been, I think for me, too much to grasp in one go. Like you would read a POV from 1 or 2 characters, like interactions here, and then maybe you're diving into like 4 or 5 POVs in the other book before circling back to this. Like, would I remember much? Like, I don't know. I think doing a tandem on a reread is something I want to do, but I really enjoyed reading this after, and just being able to like focus on the kind of like 3 POVs, I would say. You get 2, like, okay, when I say POVs, this is all in like 3rd person, but like you're getting kind of these POVs, right? You get it. Okay. Like you're kind of getting 2 a majority of the time, but then you have this 3rd that's also in there for, I don't know, like a 1/3 or so of the book, you know, like of the book is probably also that other POV and that plotline going on. So you're just like following less characters, and I just really enjoyed this. Like I kind of remembered everything going on in Empire of Storms, so this like going on at the same time, like a majority of this, it really doesn't matter. Like you kind of get glimpses of what our characters in Empire of Storms are doing in here, because these people in a different area are kind of getting that information occasionally. It really matters, I feel like, at the end of the book when everything's wrapping up and you're like, okay, like you're seeing how they've concluded this mission, and mission isn't the right word, but this quest over here, at the same time like understanding how Empire of Storms ended, and then now, you know, you're concluding it all in Kingdom of Ash. Why am I like blinking? Have this sucker right here ready to go. But I just really enjoyed this. Like I was really nervous starting out. I was like, oh no, do I have to read a whole book about this? Within the first few chapters, I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I can do this. I can do this. I really loved our characters in here, and I really liked the story that was here. Like, everything made sense to me. Like, obviously, it's a big book, and I'm sure people that, like, just like certain characters more that aren't in here would be like, oh, like, this book isn't necessary, or this book is kind of filler, or, like, wasn't that good. Like, I really liked it. I liked their characters in here. I had so much fun with this. Like, I was excited to pick it up every single day. So I'm really glad that I read this and also gave it like my undivided attention. So yeah, that's kind of the best non-spoiler review I can give. So this is your warning that I'm going to head into the spoiler section. There will be, you know, timestamp as always, so you know kind of when we'll dive into Kingdom of Ash. But yeah, this is your last warning. We're going to be talking spoilers. Okay, spoiler thoughts. Let's just like work our way through the characters because I feel like that's the best thing I can do. So obviously in this one we are following Kale as he goes to the southern continent to hopefully get them another round of soldiers and an army to fight the war, but also he needs to learn how to walk again and he needs the healers to do that. So that's where he meets Irene, who we know from Assassin's Blade when Aelin, well, Selena at the time, was going towards the Red Desert, I believe, on that mission, but we have the healer novella that we get introduced to Irene, and you see like Selena's involvement there. And so Irene's back here and she's the one helping Kale, right? Oh my gosh. The moment she entered the chat, I was like, oh, I see the vision. I see the vision. Sarah, thank you so much. I'm so sorry I doubted you. Yes. Like, yes. It really gave A Court of Silver Flames for me, but like way better because I get, okay? Don't come for me. I get Court of Silver Flames. I didn't love a majority of it. I feel like I was hate reading because I was just so frustrated so much of the time. So this gave just like, I wasn't frustrated. At some points, I rolled my eyes at Mr. Kale because I was like, oh, man, we were making so much progress. And then like emotionally and mentally, you just like went back 5 steps. But like overall, I really enjoyed that vibe of this. You're seeing him kind of heal from so much that he just wasn't dealing with. And on top of that, him and Irene. Bestie Kale is married. He is married. What? We'll talk on what I think Kingdom of Ash may entail, and I may or may not include it here after I give my spoiler thoughts on this book. So we see that now Irene and Kale also have their like lives tethered to each other. She can help him walk when she has her magic. If she doesn't, Bestie's like using a cane or in a chair. That was kind of like a crazy thing to just process, all of that going on, and like him like dying and then like coming back to life, and like that was a lot. And then to have him walk out married, I was like, wow. That scene of his final healing, of him really just going through everything and accepting it and accepting the darkness and like healing so much. We went through that together, and like that was honestly so beautifully written. Like that was so well done. I loved it. I loved reading that. Irene is my best friend. Like I want to be friends with her. She is loyal. She's a homie. Also incredibly smart, incredibly witty. I just really enjoy her and like her personality. Now we have Nesrin and Sartak. I really liked the bits we got from them throughout the book, but it wasn't like this 50-50. It didn't feel 50-50 to me. It felt like a 70-30 split, which was perfect because Kale was oftentimes like into the plot of the like war side and like negotiating and being a part of like all the siblings chaos as well, while Nesrin like wasn't as involved in that, like obviously with like Sartak and everything, but it made sense that she like it was not this 50-50 split of Nesrin's journey and Kale's. Y'all, I was worried for a minute that we were trying to get this love story between him and Nesrin. Oh, I was so scared for my life. I'm like, don't give me this book. I was like, I don't know if I could do it. Thank God that was not the plot. So Nesrin and Sartak, the moment they had like their first scene together, we kind of got like a glimpse of like, oh, you guys. Yes, ma'am. No, like I love it. I really loved their plot. I really loved like seeing him being like such a leader and such a king. We'll circle back to that. Such a king and just like leading people, being genuine with people, having that military kind of battle mindset and experience. Not the same as Caution, and like having that journey with the spider things that and that side, like the tribe stuff, that was so cool. And like learning everything from that journey. We'll circle back. Okay, Sartak is gonna be heir. Nesrin, y'all make it out of this alive, you're gonna be queen? That is wild behavior. Wild behavior. I cannot wait for those 4 characters. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously we will have like a couple others, like cautions, like no, like Irene, I will see you again, and like my sword blows northward, like, or whatever. So, you know, I'm sure we'll see him again. Like Hazar is coming with them. Is that how you say it? Okay. She's coming with them. All the ships. They got the ships. The king said, you know what? I will help you win this war. I will help you save your people. And I respect that. So we learned about like the Fae kind of living on that land, that southern continent land, and kind of forcing that healer power kind of into people. I don't really know how to describe this, but like those Fae with those healer abilities bred on those grounds. And so that's how those people, like we learned that's kind of how people like Irene got those powers, and like the people in that area got those healer abilities to ultimately fight this war years later, which is just like, to have to plan that. Crazy. The biggest one. Queen of the Vogue? I'm sorry, what? Queen. Not a Vogue king. Vogue queen? Maeve. Babes, sweetie. Like, the gasp, I gasped, but at the same time, I was just like, oh, brother. Oh, we're in for a treat. We are in for a treat. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's kind of like talk Kingdom of Ash, because I want to give you my thoughts heading into this book. This is still spoilery, so that's why I don't want to like switch yet, right? I want to give you my thoughts heading into this because I was talking with Riley last night. We finished it yesterday, and I was like, someone, if not someone's, gotta die, right? And I was like, who would I just feel absolutely devastated about if they died? I think if it's written well, like, I'm gonna cry no matter what. But, like, who would I just feel torn to my core if they died? Because I can tell you right now, I barely met Sam, and that makes me devastated. But frankly, I don't know if I would feel that loss from any of our main characters right now. And that is crazy because this has been like anywhere from like a 4.5 to 5 star read every book. I think maybe I've given one below 4.5, but like I don't even remember that. So let's just say between 4 and 5 star every book. Like, and to have that realization that's like, I don't know if I would feel the loss of any of the characters is weird for me. So I'm curious how this book is going to be written and how like that feeling, that emotion could change, because again, if we have such this build-up and connection, this dog is barking, it's driving me absolutely insane. So I'm so sorry if you can hear that. Anyways, I just want to wrap this up by saying I'm just so curious to see how I'm going to be at the end of the book and to see like how my emotions change from that. So yeah, okay. Just want to throw it out there. Okay, let's go ahead and dive into the final book, Kingdom of Ash. So this book is like 950 pages. Are you kidding me? We're gonna be here a hot minute, but we are diving into this book today. I actually need to make like my tabs, like bookmark thing, so I need to pick out my tabs for this final book, which is so exciting, and then we will be starting our final book. I am on chapter 27, page 244. If you want to go grab your book, see what I just stopped at last night, had the control to stop at last night. I did yesterday's reading. We stopped at a point that I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited to pick this book up today because we're at a good point. But I'm a little, like, I think it's like 20% of the way into it, but I wanted to go ahead and just kind of give those initial thoughts. I want to say, like, oh, the band's back together, but it's not really that because not everyone's in the same place. But I'm really enjoying having all of our POVs back in the same book. And you're seeing all their different adventures. I say adventures because that's the best term I can come up with right now. But these people are kind of doing, like, these different missions, these different purposes, all these things, and like getting the different POVs of that. But obviously we all have the common goal of war here and, like, what it takes to win. And so it is so just like, it's so good. And all of our romances going on, y'all, 90% of them are a hot mess. Hot mess. I have theories I was talking with Riley about, like, what I think is going to happen in this book. And I'm just kind of scared, but I'm, like, also very excited. So that's how I'm feeling. That's kind of my initial thoughts, you know. But I will check in with you guys later. I will try to be better about, like, filming little clips here and there, because, like, I know you want to hear my thoughts, but I also know, like, you don't want just, like, entire talking. I know, like, the B-roll is kind of fun sometimes, so I will keep that in mind.
I'll let you go, just need some time.
I am here to give another reading update because I am, I think, 55% of the way into Kingdom of Ash. I am on chapter 63. You guys, this is so good. This is so good. Since we last talked, we have had our first, like, death scare where I'm like, I actually still don't know, and so that's scary, and I'm hoping to find that out today. But it's so good. Like, just the plot of this book, the series, but just, like, how this is going, absolutely phenomenal. Like, I'm having the time of my life while being very emotional at points. Like, I've definitely teared up several times. But, like, I want to pick it up every single day. So, we are going to be continuing on. But I just had to hop in and let you guys know, like, I would be shocked if this doesn't end up 5 stars. Which I've only given, I think it's Queen of Shadows 5 stars. And then, hopefully, this book. But other than that, like, I think I've given the rest either, like, I don't know. I think, like, 4.5. 4.75, 4.25, maybe, like, in those ranges. So still, like, high ratings, but, like, I haven't had a 5-star feeling with any other book besides Queen of Shadows. But everything about this, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. So I'm going to continue reading today, and I will see you guys again around that 75% mark. Oh my gosh. You guys, well, that's a little high. I'm sorry. We are, I think it's 73%. I'm on chapter 87. This much left of the entire series. Are you kidding me? Like, what am I supposed to do when I finish this? I wanted to go ahead and update here versus even doing one more days of reading because we are in the middle of a battle and I had to end, like, a couple chapters into it. And I was like, man, this is, like, brutal stopping point. Like, it's kind of like the start of a battle, but it's, like, kind of a big one. And I figured it'd be better to, like, update here versus, like, continuing on into that battle if anything, like, big happens. But, like, I expect things to go very bad in this last 25%. So I wanted to go on and actually talk with you before I maybe shed tears. Like, I have no idea what to expect. I know what I would like to happen to make this one of the greats in a series, and just, like, a bold play by Sarah J. Maas, and I'm hoping that's what happens, but, like, I have no idea. So yeah. I'm scared. I'm excited, but I'm scared. And we just have to finish this. And then I'm so excited to be able to talk with you guys about it, mainly the spoiler section. And I feel like that's where everyone that's already read the series is probably like eager to feel like, okay, JC, what are you thinking about this series now that it's over? Let's go find out. Let's go find out. I am on chapter 104 and we're heading back into battle. I have this much left and I just fear for the next 60-ish pages because I feel like this is where everything bad is gonna happen. Like, I only have like 2 days worth of reading left and Riley and I want to finish it together, but I just feel like the last 60 pages are gonna be like concluding everything that is the series. Versus the next 60 pages are just gonna... I'm just scared. But let's do today's reading and see if I walk away in one piece. I have finished Kingdom of Ash, which means I have finished the Throne of Glass series. This is genuinely such a surreal feeling. I also just feel so free and like I no longer have to worry about spoilers. I can just look up my heart's content on like art and like just the beautiful like collages and edits people have made about this series without fearing seeing spoilers for like future books. Also, it feels so weird to not just like always have one of the Throne of Glass books to read. I mean, I started this back in September, late August, something like that. We have always had one of these books. I have the other 4 right here. Like, since September, there's always been one I'm reading. And now I'm like, whoa, like what do I do with my life? What do I do with my time? Let's get into my final thoughts on Kingdom of Ash. I am first going to talk non-spoiler, and then I will give you time to like click out or do whatever for the spoiler section. So let's go find my book. I can't believe like all the tabs also with all of these. So Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and finally this guy. Wow. I mean, this has to be the largest book that I've read. I wrote all my thoughts here, and let me tell you, there's a lot. There's a lot because obviously this is the final book, and I'm also kind of combining a bit of the kind of overall series feelings into this. So again, non-spoiler part, I will give you ample warning time to click out for any of these spoiler sections. Before we get into this, let me just one more for good luck. Okay, Okay. Whew. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Finishing this series, like I said, like I just kind of can't believe that it's over. It's such a like surreal feeling to have read this widely like loved and appreciated series, and I can definitely say like it was worth it. Like this is a large series to get into. It's also like highly anticipated, but because of its like wide appreciation in the book community, it can be very intimidating to read, and I was just scared of that. Like there's a part of me that was scared of that, but like it was just so worth it. I can also say with finishing this that I am glad that I started with the Assassin's Blade to like dip my toes in the water. Where's it at? Where's she at? So just a like reminder, I guess. Like I read this in the entirety first, and then I had a reading order that I found to read certain novellas ahead of certain books, like where they were most relevant. And so reading this all the way through, I felt like, okay, we're dipping our toes in. I kind of got comfortable in this series. I understood the why of Selena being such an amazing assassin, and instead of just kind of being told that in Throne of Glass and then like slowly learning that and going back and seeing the novella, like this was perfect for me. And like now that I'm done with the series, I can just like fully attest that I really liked starting with this and then going back and rereading specific novellas ahead of certain books. So I will just like say that as a final, like now that I finished the series, I can fully say like I love doing that. I think one of my favorite parts of this series is the fact that time and time again, we learn to just trust Sarah. Like in Sarah, we trust. I felt like she did such an amazing job of allowing the reader the time to like heal, grieve, process all these events that happen. Like, I mean, just simply in the first few books, like that can be a lot. And instead of just like throwing us into a different thing, like, well, like you're gonna have to deal with that on your own time, or like, yeah, like we're healed, we're fine. Instead, I felt like we genuinely grieved alongside our main characters, or like healed, or processed information and like moved on from situations in this like real time feeling. And that was so incredible to me, because that's where I say like in Sarah we trust, because I felt like at certain points when certain things happened, I was immediately like, how am I supposed to move on from that? Like, and what we're supposed to just like forget that happened and like just move on, and now there's this new situation going on. Like, but instead I felt like we processed alongside our characters, which was just such an incredible journey and so unique for me as a reader to experience, because I feel like usually series are much shorter, whether it's like a trilogy or maybe up to 4 books, and so you don't have as much time to process and kind of work through those things. But with the 8 books, we did. And I just feel like she did that so amazing. That is definitely like my favorite thing, and like just the overall thought that like jumps out to me with the series. I can also say I love doing the buddy read. So like if you have not read the series and you know someone else that also hasn't read this series, I feel like reading it with someone for the first time was so incredible. Because also if you're doing a buddy read with someone that has already read it, I think it's way more difficult to talk about it, because I feel like it'd be so easy for that person that's read it to like accidentally say something or give a facial expression or something that like can give away something that happens in the future. So I feel like my friend Riley and I reading this whole series together for the first time, we could just like talk with each other and like brainstorm with each other, knowing like none of us knew what was going on or what was going to happen. And I feel like that just like enhanced the experience. We also kind of created like a schedule where for us it mapped out to reading about 60 pages a day. Sometimes we could read more, but also if life happens and you couldn't read one day, like it wasn't as bad to catch up the next day. So I felt like that was a good like pace for us, and I really love that. So this is definitely your sign to read the series, but also read it with a friend. I don't really know how to discuss like my like thoughts on like the ending of the book or anything like that without it being spoilery. So I feel like this is me just giving you my thoughts like with the series over. What an incredible journey. I cannot believe how well Sarah just like gave us the depth of this, and like it just felt so immersive, and I went through so much with these characters, and it was just such an incredible journey, and I can't believe that it's over. So that's kind of my best non-spoiler thoughts to this book ending, this series ending, and just like how I'm feeling about it in the best non-spoiler way. So do with that information what you will. For those that are going to click out, because now we're going to be jumping into the spoiler section, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this has to be a relatively long video, even though I haven't started editing it, and I just can't believe that you stuck around this far if you did, even if you skipped around. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you are going to be reading the series, if you have read this series, or you're at certain points when you're like watching this or something, like feel free to comment down below like what your favorite book is. Obviously no spoilers at all, but my DMs are open if you eventually read this and want to talk spoilers. So thank you guys. Now this is your, I'm gonna click out because oh my god, JC's gonna talk about spoilers. I'm gonna give you time to go find your phone because I'm playing in the background. I need you to find that pause button, that forward button, that exit button, because I do not want to spoil anything for you guys. So I have a lot of spoiler thoughts, so we are going to get into them. Okay, so now that we have those like very surface level thoughts out of the way, what an amazing pace to this final book. I felt like, wait, where's it at? Hello, I was grabbing the Assassin's Blade. This is huge. This is huge, and I feel like it could be so easy for this to just be like boring at times, or like, wow, I feel like we really could have cut that out, or whatever it may be. But instead, like, I felt like I flew through this. It was so easy to read. Like, I've never read a book this big, but the way she paced everything with her characters, amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, where do I really loved getting all of our characters back together. So as we saw throughout the series, like, we had Kale going on his journey, we had like Dorian kind of going on his, obviously Aelim's going on hers, and with the ending of Empire of Storms, you're just kind of like, oh god, right? Because that was, yeah, ending of Empire of Storms has Aelin getting captured by Maeve, and so as a reader you're just like, frick. But I didn't do the tandem, but obviously in tandem with that, you have Kale going to the southern continent, and like he's going on his healer journey. We're getting Irene back in the picture. That's amazing. But we have everyone kind of splitting back up, and like also with the ending of Empire Storms, you're seeing Dorian and Manon like go off on their own thing, while like Rowan, Adian, like Sandra, Gabriel, all of those like are also kind of going on a separate journey. And so we have everyone split up at the beginning of this book, but it was so amazing to get all of their POVs back in the same book, because obviously you have those split up between the Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn. So I really liked getting everyone's POVs back together. I felt like the pacing of that, the flipping of back and forth, like I felt like it was handled so well, and it wasn't like hard to keep track of. I felt like the chapters were relatively short to where you weren't too long in one to where you're like, oh god, we're gonna, like, it's gonna be 100 pages before we get back to whatever character. So I like that, and I just like really enjoyed having everyone back together. We have a couple of our characters together, and we have a couple of them not. So Lorcan and Elide, I like the pain I felt in this book for them and Adian and Lysandra. Guys, we are at war. You could die, all of you, at any point. Get over yourself. So Elide is validly upset with Lorcan. Like, I get it. But babes, also, like, I think what, the beginning of Kingdom of Ash, I felt like we were 2 months in pretty quickly, that they were like 2 months later kind of vibe. And I'm like, y'all have been together every day, and you're still like giving him the silent treatment, or you're still like, you're still internally kind of feeling emotions for him. If he died, how would you feel about that? Like, I was like, guys, 50% into the book, I'm like, please get over yourself. We've got to just like accept the situation. But again, Elide validly upset, so like I get that one. I like how you need a bit more time to kind of circle back. Adian and Lysandra, Adian is upset for no reason. no valid reason. Okay, all emotions are valid or whatever, but like, babes, Lysandra did what she did because that's her queen. Adian's not her queen, her king. You know what I mean? Like, he's so upset because Lysandra didn't tell him. No, Adian's upset with himself because he didn't know. He's upset with Aelin because she didn't tell him. But he's taking it all out on Lysandra, who could die at any point, and he's just being mean to her. Mean. And I'm like, Lysandra is doing her freaking best, okay? She's doing the best she can. You know the weight of the world on her shoulders right now? Oh my god, I was just so mad every time he was just being like rude to her, and she was putting everything on the line every single day to like fight in battles and keep everyone alive and doing her best to like give hope to the kingdom. Like, I'm sorry. Aiden, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Thank God that wrapped up, and you know, everyone happily ever after. But like, that was so frustrating to read, specifically those two. Lorcan and Lead I could get over a little bit more. Lorcan fell hard. Lorcan fell hard. So his pain hurt a lot. I really loved Dorian's plotline in this book. I felt like we really saw him just like, okay, also I didn't like talk about the other characters because like the other characters are like always in the relationship. You know, like Rowan and Aelin, like there was no like fighting with them or like a breakup or whatever. So like I focused on those two couples because like they're like not together for majority of the book, and I'm like, guys, stop it, guys, stop it. You're at war, just get together already. Like kiss, have sex, do your thing. Anyways, circling to Dorian, I really loved his plotline in this because we really just saw him grow in confidence, his power, his ability, and just like his strength overall, like mentally, physically, all of that in this. And I really loved his plotline with Manon. Like, I loved them so much, but I love that it wasn't just like, oh, we're getting them together now and like they're like together. Like, no, it was this complicated thing. He really grew to like know Manon and like what she would want, what she would need, and not forcing some type of relationship kind of on her. But we also saw Manon grow in her feelings for Dorian, and like I just like ate that up. I ate it up. But I think more importantly, just like Dorian's character as a whole, like I loved seeing his growth in every facet of his life in this. Like, absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I mean, I made a note here, like Aelin and Rowan. Like, I love them. Like, I love them, I love them, I love them. Wow. I'm really glad that we got Aelin out with, like, pretty early on, what, the first 200 pages? Keep in mind, it's nearly a 1,000-page book. But, like, in that first 20% of the book, like, we broke Aelin out. And, like, I'm glad we saw that, because I guess there was a part of me that was like worried we weren't even gonna see her like with the other characters until like 50% in, but instead it was pretty early on, and I just like really loved seeing Aelin's like just Aelin. Like, oh my god, do I write anything? Okay, no, because then I talk about the last 25% of this book. Like, can I just say, like, overall, like, just Aelin's strength with how young she is, the weight of the universe pretty much on her shoulders, like quite literally the weight of the world on her shoulders, and like she handles it with such grace. It's just so incredible, her like mental strength to do that. I loved seeing Aelin's character through all of this from the beginning to the end. It was just so incredible. Wow. I do fear that may be the last positive thing I say about this, so if you are one of my friends watching and you think that you could block me from my opinion on the last 25% of this, maybe just click out so you like never know. Like, ignorant is bliss, you know what I mean? Okay, because we are going to talk about the last 25% of this. I just need to start off with apologizing. I am so sorry because I was personally disappointed with the last 25% of this book. And I fear that is not a popular opinion, but I just gotta get it off my chest, okay? I do, okay? I don't want to discount all of the just like epic scenes that were in this book overall, but especially towards the end. How do I write this? Okay, so I don't want to take all that away because there were so many amazing scenes, so many amazing just like plot lines throughout this book. That said, I definitely expected a lot more like despair with our main characters. Obviously, we had Gabriel's sacrifice death, and like there was definitely sadness in that. Like, I felt sad for Adian. I didn't really feel sad by Gabriel's death, but just thinking about someone that was finally gonna like really accept their father in their life and want to grow that relationship, and then the lion sacrifices himself for his cub, and like that is like an element that was, I was sad for Aedion, not really that character's death in that way. And then what did hurt definitely was the 13 outside of Manon. Like that sacrifice, like, oh my god. But same thing, I felt so sad for Manon and thinking about like what her life was going to be like after that, rather than like the loss of those 12 witches. You know what I mean? Like I didn't, because I was sad for like other characters that were still alive. I feel like the sadness I felt for the characters that did die was like short-lived. It was like, oh, it's so sad. Like maybe I like teared up or whatever, but like then I moved on pretty quick, versus being sad for the characters that died. Does that make sense? I guess I'll just add to that real quick the fact that we didn't have as much depth with Gavriel, or we had some things definitely touched on with like Astrid really in the like 12 of the 13. But because we didn't have much like depth history with those characters, that's why I think their deaths were just like less impactful for me. Hot take. I'm gonna get blocked by so many people. Okay, hot take. I think Aelin should have died. I think that would have made this series epic. Like pull that card, make that decision as an author. It was her destiny to sacrifice herself. Her or Dorian. I still think it should have been Aelin. But like, I think that having Aelin make the ultimate sacrifice as that winning play, like that would have been hard. It would have left the reader destroyed, but also a sense of like understanding because of everyone that was saved in that process. Like, I think that just would have been an incredible decision and made this entire series that much better. Like the ultimate perfect, like make the hard call. Make the hard call. I really expected it. I'm not gonna lie, I really expected, at least did I say it here, I understand it's a very hard call, but like I'm surprised then that like Dorian didn't like die in her place kind of thing. If you don't want to kill Aelin, I then expected Dorian to die. I thought one of those two were going to die. And I thought that would have made the series just like honestly magnificent. Like that is the type of pain. Iron Man dying makes the Avengers Marvel epic. Absolutely epic. Because I woke up mourning. I woke up depressed after watching that movie. I don't know how that would have played out. I mean, we kind of expected it to happen with the word stone, the word keys and everything, but like with that happening around that like what 70-80% mark, I knew that like Aelin or Dorian, I had a hard time believing they were gonna die that like early into the book, thinking like you still had about 25% of the book left. Like I don't think they were gonna kill them then. So when that happened so early on, I was like, oh, okay, so they're not gonna die here. Obviously they didn't. And then the like it made that scene, like the word key scene, less like intense, or I wasn't really scared all that much because I'm like, well, I don't think they're gonna die, so like ultimately what's gonna happen here? We're gonna be successful in sending Erewhon back, or like something may go wrong, but like it wasn't high stakes. It didn't feel high stakes reading that scene. And I think I wished it was. I think what was obviously impactful in that was seeing the king again, learning the king, like nameless is my prize, like learning all of that. Oh my god, like that was like wow, 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 wow. But when it came to like Aelin and Dorian, it didn't make it as high stakes for me. So then we have the like battle with Maeve and Erewhon. I will say like the Erewhon scene of him ultimately being like taken down and manipulated by the team that like worked together with like the word marks and the heal, like Irene and all that, like that was so cool. That was so cool. I love that. So circling back to the Maeve part of this though, okay. it felt, oh my god, I'm fearful for any friends that could be watching this. Hopefully they just don't. I fear it was anticlimactic for me. Anticlimactic, you get it, okay? I, because no one died, I was like, when it ended, I was like, what? They only need to put a ring on her? Huh? Hot take, Fenris would have been a good one to kill off in that moment. Like, you saw his pain and him ultimately like dying in that moment. One, it would have hurt the reader, would have caused pain because we saw so much more depth in him with Aelin and like that bond. When Maeve had control of Fenris, Lorcan, and Rowan, Fenris would have been a good one, you know? So I just felt like it happened oddly fast, and like, again, wasn't this like big, it didn't feel like some big thing. And again, no one died. So besides Maeve, great, happily ever after. You know what I mean? Like, something about it just didn't feel right when I was reading it. So then when that happened and that ended, I was like, oh, so none of our main characters are gonna die. Because now Erewhon's defeated, Maeve's defeated. Oh, so we just went through all of that and everyone lives. That just didn't feel right to me. Like, with how grand this is, I just expected more death in that way. And I think why I honestly did expect it is because of how widely appreciated this series is, but more importantly, everyone commented on my post when I was like reading this series. I posted when I was starting Kingdom of Ash, and everyone commented like, kind of like, bring the tissues, oh, like, I wish you the best, kind of like, I hope you grieve well, you know, like, just a lot of like things about like mourning and so much pain. I was so confused reading all of those comments when I finished this book, because thinking back on the series and when I did talk about it with people that have read it, like, no one talked about like their love, their appreciation for Gabriel, yes. And no one like really talked about how much they loved the 13. Like, it was like, I love Manon, she's amazing. But it's not like people really hyped up the people that did die in this and like how much they love them. Just like outside, like not even like in a grieving way, but just like when those characters were brought up, no one's like, ah, oh, Gabriel, like, what a great character. Or, oh my god, like the 13, like, they're so amazing. I love them so much. Those characters, they mean so much to me. Like, no one ever talks about that. So then I don't know what people are mourning in this book when everyone lives. Like, what are we upset about? Everyone gets a happily ever after. Like, what are we crying about? Like, I don't get it. My last thing on this was just the fact that it was very confusing at the end. Not like what happens, but more like how things ended up. I think I was very confused by it as a reader, and I just like wish that more tough calls were made to move this series in my head up to an epic series. One that did leave me distraught, depressed, waking up the next day thinking certain characters were just dead and I was never going to see them again. Like, I woke up like, okay, it's over. And I still feel accomplished with reading it. And I still feel like, wow, like, we did that. But this is something that, like, I didn't really feel pain with as I expected to, based on how all of my friends react, majority of the internet. Like, that was just so, yeah, that was confusing to me reading it. So, if you unfollowed me, I totally get it. Unsubscribe, do your thing, protect your peace. I would love to know your thoughts on this series, specifically the ending. No spoilers in the comments. You can leave your vague stuff, but if you do have spoilers, you can obviously message me on Instagram. We can talk about it. But like, genuinely curious, like, what either was I missing? If you felt all the pain, the distraught, all the things, like, what was it? that you felt, like what happened, what character, like all that. Like I want to know. And if you also felt the same way maybe as me, I'd also be curious. I have this like idea that like the series is so widely talked about and everyone kind of has this consensus that like this is such a painful series, and like specifically people reading Kingdom of Ash. Like, yes, there are things throughout this book that make me highly emotional in like a sad way, so to speak, but like Kingdom of Ash, I think everyone as a consensus appreciates the ending of this, that like it's been accepted as a great ending, instead of people that may have opinions like, oh, I kind of did expect more death, or I did expect, yeah, one of our main characters to die, or yeah, I expected like something more sad. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just been accepted as a great ending by the book community, and I'm like, oh, okay. Not me talking for 30 minutes, but good thing I am ending this. That's my ending thoughts, spoilers, all the things on this series. Wow, please let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much. If you managed to make it to this point, you're a real one. Or you're here for the tea. Because I know that my opinions on this final book was not a popular one. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you stay subscribed, and I will see you in the next one.